conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
You're listening to Believe You Me with Michael the Count Bisping and Anthony Lionheart Smith.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention, Paul, that's a very jazzy hat that you're wearing.
It's snowing here. It's a snow day for the kids. So out shoveling, doing, fatherly things and making sure that the pavement is salted and no one sues me is what I've been doing today. So I found this hat and figured I'd rock it for a little bit.
Well, you look very good. You look very Eskimo-like. You look very warm and like a guy trying to survive winter. I would say I'm doing the same, but I'm not.
You're not.
73 degrees here in California. We haven't seen a drop of rain. So no doubt everything's going to go up in flames at some point soon. The UK is freezing cold, though. UK is cold. I mean, not as cold as where you are. What temperature are we talking, Paul?
We are probably around 30 degrees Fahrenheit.
So we're colder, The UK is like minus in Celsius, minus 8, 13 in Scotland.
What is that in Fahrenheit? Any
I don't
idea?
know. In the 20s, I'd say, something like that. I'd guess.
29 here, says Brian. Yeah, so it's been anywhere from like low. In the mornings, it's in the teens. It's like 15, 16 Fahrenheit, so super cold. And then as the sun comes up, it gets a little warmer. It doesn't get 73 like California, but we'll make do.
That's what happens when the sun comes up.
Yeah. Things tend to warm up. Things warm. It's amazing how that works, right?
Things are going to warm up this week.
The sun, as Bryce Mitchell would say.
Oh, well, exactly. Things are warming up here because the UFC is finally back in our lives this week. We've got Mackenzie Dern going up against Amanda Ribas. We have Jiří Procházka joining the show in about 20 minutes or so. That's always fun. Of course, he's fighting at 311. Merab Dvalishvili will be jumping on the show at the end as well. So we have a stacked show for you today. Paul, what's going on in your life? Anything?
Just snow day and sitting in the house, ready to get back on the road, to be honest with you, Michael.
I'm trying to find the notes.
Credit to the missus for being here more than I am, because when the 2-year-old is screaming and the 9-year-old wants something from her and they're battling, my God, dude.
Yeah,
I'm starting to get the cabin fever, and now that it's snowing out, there's not much to do. There's not much. You can't take them out and let them just play outside. I need a fight night, and I'm not calling it though. I'm not calling it this week.
Whoa. You're not calling it?
I'm working the pre-show and the post-show, so I'm working it. I'll be out there, but the first of the year, and it's not even the full shabam. I was like, God.
Yeah, but it's a paycheck, Paul. You're getting paid.
Yeah, and it's work. I know Vegas is kind of a little cold, but it's still going to be an upgrade from here. So.
It will be. Does that mean, is it too early? Can we get predictions from Paul Felder? Just on the main event. I don't expect you to go deep because if you're like me, my research hasn't really begun yet. That'll be this afternoon and then all week. So, if you ask me about the first fight on the prelims, I got no idea.
I don't even know how to tell you. I wouldn't even know. I know that Christian Rodriguez is fighting that kid from Contender Series. That's really good. That's a fight I'm interested in. I'm going to forget his name right now, but he was like 15-16-0 on the Contender Series. He got signed, obviously. Looked really good. So, and Christian is a kid I used to train with at Rufus Sport quite a bit. So that's nice. A good one. I know that one.
Well, we've got Mackenzie Dern. I've got the fight card in front of me. Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Ribas. Co-main event, Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Colston Harris. Cesar Almeida, Abdul Razak Al-Hassan. Chris Curtis versus Roman Kopilov even. Punahele Soriano versus Uros Menik. And the list goes on. Thiago Moises down there on the prelims as well. So top to bottom, good to have some UFC back in our lives because I'm like you, Paul. I was tweeting about this yesterday. I tried to watch Man United versus Liverpool. I thought, I'm going to do it. Yeah. I'm going to be a real guy. I'm going to watch a game. Bored out my head. I tweeted about it 40 minutes in, 0-0, nothing. Some beautiful passing of the ball, though, I got to say.
Yeah, the footwork was fantastic, but
it was phenomenal.
Not quite as much action. When you're used to watching people fist fight day in and day out, researching that, we kind of get numb to other sports. The Eagles played yesterday with all of our third string people in basically because we've already clinched. We're already in the playoffs. We are all set. So now we're facing Green Bay in the first round, but we still pulled off the win, man. We pulled off the win with literally all of our backups in to keep all the starters safe.
Yes.
I was looking for a good Eagles hat. The one that I was wearing the last time we did the show, that poor thing is falling apart. It looked rough. So I figured I'd bring a new hat onto the show.
Well, as Anthony will tell you, the believers love to send in what we call some bits and bobs. You never know. You might get a new Eagles hat in the mail from some random psychopathic stalker.
Yeah.
You know. But what?
Maybe I'll bring it to my house. I'll bring it to my house. You're saying
they'll show up. Harrington, how you doing, buddy? Jump on the screen. Let's have a look.
Dude, I'm doing excellent. I'm a little disappointed that the Eagles sat Saquon Barkley and didn't get to break a record, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Guys.
But Saquon would rather win the playoffs and the Super Bowl, obviously, than that record. I would think.
Yeah, listen, you're speaking a foreign language to me. Okay. Can we just keep it in some? Well, not nerds. I would say real men. People that love to talk about sports, shoot the shit over a beer, talk about.
I'm so
catch the
bad
game last
at it,
night, bro.
honestly. I'm saying about as much as I know. I've talked to you guys about this before. I watch the games. I'm in. I know Saquon. Obviously, I know some of the main starters, but it doesn't go beyond that for me. I'm not a fair weather. Like, I'm with them all the time, but I'm a casual fan, I would say.
Okay. Well, we'll start with, we'll talk about the main event this weekend. Harrington, you be ready to drop a non-MMA story on us in a minute. I think Jiří Procházka is going to join us in about 20 minutes. So we'll probably get this in. So have you ever had a rematch, Paul? Because this weekend is a rematch, Ribas and Dern. First one was a 30-27 for Amanda Ribas. I watched it this morning. Just Mackenzie Dern, obviously, I think she'd only had 2 or 3 fights in the UFC. Oh, no, I think that was Amanda Ribas. And she just kind of sharper striking, beat her to the punch, picked her apart, kept her on the feet for the most part. Now it's 5 years later. Both ladies will have improved, of course. But more importantly, the psychological aspect when you're going into a rematch. That's why I asked you, Paul, you ever had a rematch?
Yeah, I did. With Edson Barboza. I fought him in my third UFC fight ever in Chicago on maybe the end of 2015 or 2016, I forget, but close fight, lost the first one. And then same with me, years later, I'd climbed my way up into the rankings. Edson was still in the top 10 and I got to fight him in Abu Dhabi. Another one, super close fight. Could have gone either way. I got that decision though. But you're right. It was really hard for me, actually, psychologically, because he had beaten me, because I know what those kicks felt like. I knew how hard he hit. And then you got to prepare for it all over. The first time there's some ignorance, right? You don't, even if the guy's a scary fighter, if you haven't faced him already, you just don't know. But once you've been in there before, and you obviously know all about that as well.
Yeah, but the first time as well, because this is what fighters do. You'll say, yeah, Edson Barboza, he's great at kicking, but all of his opponents, they're not very good. They're not skilled. They don't know how to check a leg kick. They're not experienced on the feet. So you play it down, and that's what your coaches do, and that's what your teammates do. And then you get in there and you're like, oh, shit, I was wrong. He's pretty good. He's not bad. Yeah. He's pretty nasty.
Yeah, exactly.
How did that end? Was it a decision in the rematch?
Yeah, it was split decision the second time around and unanimous for him the first one. I won. All the judges gave me the first round. He won the last 2 rounds in the first one. And I think rightfully so. In the moment, I remember when I fought him the first time, it was one of those things I really thought I won the fight. When I watched it back, I was like, okay, I didn't do enough. He landed more strikes. He did a lot of damage. In the end of the fight, I did damage in the first round, but not enough. The second one was a bloodbath.
I'm just going to look up your record here, Paul, because, you just nonchalantly drop in Edson Barboza. Of course, we know that you fought and beaten Charles Oliveira. That is 2 legendary Brazilians. Top of the last fight you had was Rafael dos Anjos as well. Again, another legend, a former champion. Paul Felder, the Brazilian killer on the sly. I'm trying to have a look here. Any others? No, that's it, right? They're the 3 Brazilians you fought?
And I fought Trinaldo as well. Francisco Trinaldo. Massaranduba. In Brasilia. God, that was when I had my whole eyebrow just like.
I think the first Brazilian I fought, because I remember when I first started on the regional scene in the UK, there was like this mystique about Brazilian fighters. And we're going back 2003, 2004, you know what I mean? And I was like, shit, I don't know how I'm going to feel fighting a Brazilian that does Vale Tudo, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and all this shit, because we didn't have a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt in the entirety of the country, you know what I mean? Yeah. I was actually matched up to face, in my second ever MMA fight, Renato Babalu Sobral.
Oh, yeah.
Just fought Chuck Liddell. Hey, somebody got injured, and then I ended up fighting Mark the Beast Epstein for the cage rage belt. I got very lucky there because I was in no way ready. I'd done like 3 months of MMA training. I had no business stepping into a ring against
That would have been a rough early fight, man. That would have been a rough early one because he was nuts. He was
good, man. Babalu was the man back in the day. Obviously, speaking of Brazilians, this weekend it is 2 Brazilians. Mackenzie Dern trained with Jason Perillo, for quite some time, improved the hands, kind of left Perillo for a little bit and went and did her own thing. And I think when she fought Jessica Andrade, Joe Rogan spoke about it on commentary and said that her striking had actually kind of regressed.
Went back,
she's linked back up with Jason now. Because you got to think predominantly this fight, again, will probably play out on the feet. Yes, I think Mackenzie's going to try and take it down. Mackenzie's really tough. She's got a great gas tank. She's got a heart. She's got a chin. But she's going to have to clean things up on the feet if she's going to get the job done.
Yeah, I agree. That was always kind of her problem. Even when she was getting better, it's still pretty limited in what she throws. You know what I mean? Like, clearly she's aggressive. She's tough. She's shown that time and time again every time she fights, but it's just usually like a couple punches and she leaps in and lunges. So hopefully being back with Perillo, she can sharpen that up a little bit. It doesn't have to be overcomplicated. I feel like some of these fighters that aren't natural strikers, they didn't grow up striking, they kind of overcomplicate it a little bit. If you can get a good jab going and then set up your takedowns, I think that's also a problem for Mackenzie Dern. Is obviously she's unbelievable once she gets the fight to the mat, but I think she has a little trouble in the transitions. And if you have good boxing, that's all you really need to be able to get that a little bit more seamless, to get to a double leg, to get to a single leg. Because you see some of these female fighters that don't have the wrestling background but great jiu-jitsu, they kind of struggle in that, that medium zone where you've got to get in close. They end up diving out. And as the fight progresses, you get tired. So we'll see. And Ribas, not easy to take down. She's also a pretty good grappler.
Last time we saw her, she went up against Rose Namajunas, went 5 rounds, lost a decision, but gave a good account of herself. With all that said, Paul Felder, the Irish Dragon, the deerstalker hat wearer, what is the prediction? Let me know which way we're going to go. Harrington, let me know what you think as well. I'm calling the fight, so I can't say shit.
I know. I love being in that spot. I love that.
It's great. It's great.
It's the best. It's the best. I'm sorry. I can't say
because the thing is, I don't care. Right? Yeah. Giving a prediction. I don't really care. But as we know, right? People like Jamahal Hill and other fighters and myself, I was the same back in the day. Yeah. We're sensitive bastards, okay? And we get all bent out of shape. And they're like, oh, really? Really? Well, I'll have a word with Bisping when I see him, right? You're going to piss off one of these ladies right now, Paul. They ain't ever going to speak to you ever again. Is it going to be Mackenzie Dern? Is it going to be Amanda Ribas? Who gets the hand raised on Saturday night?
At this moment, would go at this moment, I'm leaning towards Amanda Ribas. I just think she's a bit more of a versatile striker on the feet, uses more weapons. Coming off that 5-round fight with Rose, she's got a lot of experience with other good strikers and people that are well-rounded. I just think she's got more tools. I think if it gets to the ground, she's smart enough and good enough with her defense and tough enough, which she's shown, to be able to avoid any kind of crazy submission. So I'm going Amanda Ribas again. Probably by decision. Yeah,
I don't think she's going to finish Mackenzie Dern if she does win the fight.
She's tough. Mackenzie's tough, man. I'll give it.
When Mackenzie Dern fought Angela Hill, and granted, Angela's a veteran and she has some ups and downs and she's, she always shows up, but, she struggled against like the absolute elite of the division. But my God, My God, Mackenzie Dern went out there and put a beating on her. All right, this episode is sponsored by Rocket Money. And let me tell you right now, Rocket Money, you need this in your life because we all sign up to these subscriptions, whether it's an app, it's a gym, it's a streaming service. There's so much stuff that you sign up to online these days and you don't know. You lose track about it, okay? So I signed up to Rocket Money and I could not believe what I saw. There was about 40 odd subscriptions that I had no idea of, right? I had 3 subscriptions or 2 subscriptions to Amazon Prime. I had 4 or 5 to other companies. There was multiple gyms. There was all kinds of stuff. There was a couple of companies that I didn't even know what they were. I was truly astounded when I saw it. So Rocket Money, they make it super simple. You see all your subscriptions in one place. You know exactly where your money is going. For the ones that you don't want anymore, Rocket Money helps you cancel them. Rocket Money's dashboard gives you a clear view of your expenses across all of your accounts. Easily create a personalized budget with custom categories to help you keep your spending on track. See your monthly spending trends in each category to know exactly where your money is going. Get alert if bills increase in price, there's unusual spending activity, or if you're going over budget. And the best thing is, if you want to cancel it, you just go blip, blop, blam, done, gone. Simple as that. No getting on the phone, no messing around. It is cancelled. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in cancelled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/believe. That's rocketmoney.com/believe. I'm telling you right now, go to rocketmoney.com/believe. You are going to be surprised. You are going to be shocked. And you are also going to be armed with the ability to cancel those ones that you don't want. rocketmoney.com/believe. Harrington, join the show, please, and give us your prediction before we move on and get a non-MMA story from you before we get into all the stuff, because there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Okay, but Harrington, what do you think? Because, by the way, if you don't know this, Harrington does a little thing where he's going to turn people into millionaires if they follow his picks. That's what he did last year. Did anyone become a millionaire, Harrington?
I mean, he's doing great.
Yeah. Me personally, great year for me. Anybody who followed me, we'll try again this year. I'm going to say, look, I don't know, man. I'm going to say Mackenzie Dern. I just like she's coming off a win off of Lupi Godinez, Ribas coming off of the loss to Namajunas, and for me it's like, I don't know, it's just that simple. One person is on an upswing, the other person is on a downswing, and I like a lot of the improvements Mackenzie's made. Mackenzie being back with Jason, I think is incredible for her. I mean, you saw how much she grew leaps and bounds. She built herself into somebody who was in that title picture. Kind of a bumpy road after she left Perillo, but it's like, I don't know, man. I literally sat next to him in MSG while she was fighting Jessica Andrade, and Perillo was calling like, "Nah, got to get the hand up there, got to do," like he could have coached her maybe to a win in that fight. So it's like I have no reason to believe that the Dern and Perillo combination will not continue to be a winner.
I'm also,
and I'll tell you this:
Dern, she has my number.
Right? Hey, we'll get her on the show. We'll get her on the show next week. Although next week I'm going to be in Colombia. I'm stem selling. Before Jiří Procházka jumps on, we got to talk about this. Matt Hamill, of course, was on the Ultimate Fighter Season 3 with myself. We had kind of a rivalry. We ended up fighting. We had a really close fight. I was lucky to get a decision. I acted like a prick afterwards. He went on and had a good career, fought John Jones, beat John Jones. He's the only person to beat John Jones, beat Tito Ortiz, I believe, had a fight with Quinton Rampage Jackson. So he fought some really tough opposition along the way. Anyway, point of the story is, and everyone's probably seen this by now, for the first time ever, he can hear because of some super advanced hearing aid. Now he said he can hear the sound of footsteps. He can hear the sound of his children and his mother and just, everything that we take for granted. And just what a beautiful thing. I mean, it's amazing what technology is doing for people, but I could not be happier for Matt Hamill. I was going to reach out and say, I said to my wife, I said, I might ask him to come on the podcast. And she's like, I think it's a bit early for that yet, Michael.
Yeah, it's let the man figure this technology out before he tries to jump on a podcast.
You're muted, Matt.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not making jokes. We're not making jokes. Yeah, I'm so happy for him.
Yeah. Anytime I've seen those videos, you ever see the videos of the little kids that get those types of hearing aids or get glasses for the first time and they can actually see their mom and their dad and stuff like that? It will definitely bring some tears to your eyes to see that. I don't know if I get that same effect from Matt Hamill, but my God, I mean, he's got to be in his 40s now, and just now being able to hear for the first time.
Yeah, well, I'm 45. Clearly. He's got to be 46, 47, maybe. I don't know, something around that, I would say.
Yeah, so that's incredible.
Yeah, those videos that you're talking about, they've made me cry. I have a little tear in my eye. I wipe it away on the slide so Rebecca doesn't see it. You know, they are amazing. And listen, you see a lot of bullshit on social media, of course, but you see some nice stuff as well. Some nice wholehearted, heartwarming stuff. Yeah,
stuff like that. And a lot of dog stuff for me is the stuff that makes me either laugh or he's 48. It's the first time he's heard in 41 years. That's incredible.
So if it's the first time he heard in 41 years, what happened in the first 7? Was it?
I guess when he was young, super young, it might have been declining. You know what I mean? A lot of times kids are born and there's obviously an issue and a birth defect that only is going to get worse as they get older. And I imagine he probably had limited hearing when he was young. And the doctors probably knew as he gets older, he's going to eventually lose his hearing completely. So
yeah, well, anyway, I just want to say, because we were kind of rivals, and and that was only because he was so good. He was so good. His wrestling was ridiculous, and he was one of the strongest people ever. So it was just because I knew the biggest threat I had to not winning this show was him. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't like him. Do you know what I mean? It was just that competitive rivalry, Yeah,
so, that's natural, man. You guys are living in the same damn house too all the time. So
yeah. So anyway, I'm very, very happy. We were talking a second ago about seeing a lot of heartwarming stuff. What we do also see if you go on Twitter is a lot of negativity, right? I even saw Laura Sanko. Did you see her tweet yesterday?
No.
She said, I don't come on here very often. I don't go on X. It's full of depravity and sadness and this and that and negativity and people making things up that aren't true and stuff like that. And I totally get her point. Anyway, Harrington, jump on. Elon Musk, I believe, is changing the algorithm to reward more positivity. Is that correct?
Yeah, so what Elon said is what he sees is a lot of people spending more time on the platform, engaging with stuff that they don't like. He says our goal is to maximize unregretted user seconds. Too much negativity is being pushed that technically grows user time, but not unregretted user time. So they're going to be making some changes to promote more informational / entertaining content with a spin, a spin towards positivity. The more uplifting it is, the better.
Well, I think the thing is, because they monetized X, I don't think anyone's going to get rich from it, far from it. I mean, I signed up for it. I've had a couple of $17 checks. Yeah. I don't think anyone's making a fortune. But, excuse me, I think what people do, though, the more wild and crazy the stuff is that they tweet, the more it gets shared and the more it gets talked about. Like Sean Strickland, the stuff that he comes out with, of course, that's going to create engagement.
Yeah, so now I see what you're saying. So now they're trying to change it so that people will get more views based on things that are interesting and more entertaining, as opposed to just creating arguments. Brian, is that what you?
Yeah, they essentially started like a social credit score on Twitter. So you can now ask Grok for your social score, and it'll let you know how much your post will be throttled or pushed.
Brian, what is Grok? I see a lot of talk about it.
Me too.
I see Elon talking about it. I'm not going to go and investigate Grok, but is it like the AI?
Yeah, if you pay for Twitter, it's their ChatGPT.
Okay. Is it good?
Oh.
I haven't used it. I don't pay for Twitter.
Sorry, I just swallowed a lemon pip. Pardon me. What was I going to say? I saw on Twitter last night, I was led in bed, and my wife was like, why are you watching this? And it was footage of a Ukrainian and a Russian soldier. And one of them, I don't know which one it was.
The knife
was on
fight?
top of the knife fight.
Yeah, that shit was so brutal, dude.
It was crazy. And the guy's on top of him. And they're fighting to the death. And the guy kills him. Well, he doesn't kill him. He gives him like a fatal wound, like slices his throat open. And the guy's on his back going, please get off me. Let me die. You've cut me. I'm going to die. And then the guy's like, okay. He's like, just let me die in peace. And the guy was like, and they were talking, it was like a scene from a movie. And then the guy
sounds like goes, Private Ryan.
I know, but he's like, just let me die in peace, please. And he said, okay. And he's like, you're the best and stuff. And I'm sitting there watching it because it is fascinating. You know what I mean? For the wrong reasons. It's kind of mind-blowing. And Rebecca's like, what are you doing? Why are you watching that? And I'm like, well, it's compelling viewing.
Yeah. You can't, I mean, we're intrigued by sanctioned boxing and kickboxing and MMA fights. So you'd imagine when you see a real battle, two soldiers actually fighting for their lives, that's, you don't think you want to see it, but once you start watching something like that, you're almost like, I kind of got to see how this plays out. Who's filming that though?
Well, I think it was from like a satellite.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, who's sitting there going,
well, exactly.
Boy.
Yeah.
I saw
your mood out, man.
I saw a body cam.
Yeah, well, I saw like it was an overhead thing and it had like a cross in the middle. I don't know. I forget what you call it, like a target thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Brian saw the body cam. Yeah. Anyway, I had a nice segue there, but I forgot. Oh, yeah. No, what you're saying. Same thing on Twitter. You see all these people standing around filming, 5 people on one having the shit kicked out of them. Do you know, Constantly. What are you doing? Be a decent human being.
Dude, you see it all the time. You see phones before you see somebody even calling for help. They got to film it. It's like, first thing you should be doing is if something really dangerous is going on and you don't feel like you can help, at least get on your phone and call 911, call the cops, call something. But instead, especially young people, more interested in getting the clip of it. I saw a cool picture too. It was around New Year's, and it was New Year's, obviously 2019 turning 2020, and it was Times Square. And it was that versus 2024 when the ball is getting ready to drop. And all you can see in 2024 is everyone doing this. In 2020, even though we had it, it wasn't as, we weren't quite as dependent on cell phones, and we had a lot of crappier ones that didn't have as good of a camera. Man, that's all you saw. And I even... I'm not good at social media, but mainly because sometimes when I'm out and there's something I should be filming or could be filming that could get some potential feedback on social media, sometimes I'm still a little too old school, unfortunately. And I'm there. I'm a part of it as opposed to being like, I do have to get better though. It's 2024. You have to. By
the way, ladies and gentlemen, in case anyone's saying this is supposed to be an MMA show, we're just shooting the shit for a minute because Jiří Procházka is joining any second now. You're right. It's like when you see them. I don't know. Who goes back and watches that stuff? Nobody. Yeah. Nobody watches. Like you see them. You go to Disneyland with the children for the first time ever, and you're filming the fireworks. Well, I see people filming the fireworks, or whatever it is. It's like you're not going to watch that back, or when you do watch it back, no one's interested. Nobody wants to see, right?
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Sit there, just be present, enjoy the moment, be nice, put your arm around your wife, hug your kid, enjoy it. Put that goddamn phone away. All right, if body odor is a problem that you're concerned about, then guess what? You are in luck, because this episode is sponsored by Mando.com. It will have you smelling a 0 out of 10. What am I talking about? Well, first of all, the average man's grundle odor level is about a 5 out of 10. With Mando, the average grundle odor level is a 0 out of 10. And you achieve that with the whole body deodorant, which was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal body odor was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. Clinically proven to block odor all day long and control odor for up to 72 hours. Now, Mando has a variety of different products. They have the solid stick deodorant formulated and powered by mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. Of course, they got a spray deodorant, aluminium-free and ideal for hard-to-reach places. Now, all products are baking soda-free and paraben-free, and you can choose from a variety of scents like bourbon leather, cloven woods, Mount Fuji, or Pro Sport. And as I said, Clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. 12 hours after a shower, you're going to be stinking about a 5. With Mando, you're going to be at about a level 0 out of 10. If you want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant formula right now, you can find it in Walmart, Target, and other retailers across the country. But for the best deals, go to shopmando.com and use the code Bisping, and you will get what is equivalent to 40% off the Mando starter pack, which is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with the exclusive code Bisping, because of course that equates to 40% off the starter pack. Use the code Bisping at shopmando.com. Shopmando.com. Please support the show. Tell them we sent you. Shopmando.com. Smell like a 0. Smell like a hero. Smell fantastic. And get 40% off the starter pack when you go to shopmando.com and use that code Bisping. Harrington, give us an MMA story. I'm not sure. Let me just check my inbox here, see if we got a message from Jiri. No, he's coming on. That's all he says. He's coming on. Anyway, in the meantime, people are probably losing their mind. They don't want to hear about Twitter.
Well, you were talking about UFC 311 there for a second. I think this is a pretty good one. Arman Tsarukyan says that he's not 100% invested in MMA at the moment. He's actually training in the mountains of Russia rather than in his normal home gym, which is ATT. And he says this fight will be a test to see if someone who is, in fact, not 100% committed to the sport can become a world champion.
Yeah, so I saw that. Arman obviously did some podcasts, and there's a lot of clips come from it. He was talking about he pulled up in a Phantom next to Dana White or something, and Dana was like, what the hell? And he was in a private jet and this and that, because he comes from a very wealthy family, and good for him, God bless him. Saying that, I don't believe him. I don't believe that Arman's not fully invested in this, because when you see him and you see the skill that he has and you see the gas tank and you see what he's capable of, that looks like a pretty committed guy.
Yeah, that when I saw that too before we started the show, I was like, what? This is the guy that every time I've seen him, he's just all about it, all about getting back to that fight. This fight that he's waiting to have right now has been the story and been his goal ever since he debuted against Islam back in Russia years and years ago. And it's like, how are you not fully invested? And did he mention, like, what other things are you that driven about right now, that other than you're on the cusp of potentially becoming the UFC lightweight champion? That blew my mind, because this is a guy that I thought was, like you said, nothing but committed. Every time I watch his social or YouTube stuff, I mean, he's all over the place training and getting different looks. So that threw me through a loop. Yeah,
but I'll tell you what, if there is a little bit of truth to that, he loses to Islam Makhachev. Because you can't, because there's one guy that is committed. There is one guy that pushes himself, and that's Islam. And that, in fact, that whole team, right, to Eagle MMA in Makhachkala, Dagestan, they're monsters. That's all they do. They live and breathe the sport of mixed martial arts or wrestling or whatever it is. They are training pretty much 24/7. Obviously, they're Muslim, so they're not out drinking. They're not partying. They're not having late nights. They live and breathe this shit. And I'm not sure what Arman's background is. He's Armenian, isn't he? So he's not Muslim, but I don't buy that. I don't. As you said, that's all he's ever wanted. That's all he talks about. And now you finally got it, and you're gonna say, I'm not that invested in this shit, really.
Or, I wonder if it's a head game. Yeah, just a bit of mental warfare and get Islam, thinking that you're not fully into it. And I don't know. I don't think it's going to matter. Islam is not the guy that you can try to play those kind of mental warfare games with, saying I'm not in it, maybe get him overconfident and go in there and make a mistake. That team, Eagle MMA and Habib, I think they'll be ready for anything. Yeah.
And Arman, if you're watching this is a question, right? Don't do a Jamal Hill. This is a podcast, okay? Right? No, but you know what I'm saying? Don't take everything we say literally, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is the case, but going up against Islam Makhachev, he's on a crazy roll. He's coming close to catching up with George St. Pierre for the unbeaten streak. I think he's won 13 fights in a row now. He's taking out people. He's the champion. He's defending the belt. is Arman Tsarukyan laying an insurance policy, setting the little excuses, giving himself saying, look, listen, guys, I'm not even that fully invested in this because, I do this for fun. It's great, but I don't need it. I've got a Rolls Royce Phantom.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just saying subconsciously that could be true. I'm not saying it is. I've got a lot of respect for Arman Tsarukyan. I think he's a phenomenal fighter, but it's a good conversation to have.
Yeah.
There's my insurance policy.
Yeah. Yeah. Just kind of, and like you said, he might not even realize that that's what he's doing by saying that. But I mean, that's kind of how we all take it as the audience and the people viewing this. You start saying that you're not fully invested in getting to this spot, into becoming champion over the guy that beat you way back in your debut. I mean, it's the best story. The guy that you debut against on short notice, you give him a run for your money, one of the scarier guys in the division even back then. And now here you are with an opportunity to fight him for the belt in LA in a new stadium, all this kind of stuff. And now you're not all that into it.
And I think he lives in Glendale or he trains out of Glendale. He's 28 years old. I was just looking up his age. He's only 28 years old. He's had an incredible run. The only two people to beat him in the UFC, of course, Islam and Mateusz Gamrot, which was a phenomenal fight with Mateusz. I don't know. I don't buy it. I always talk about this, and Paul, you know this, and maybe you can elaborate. People don't understand it the more I talk about it. The mental side of the fight game is the biggest. We can all be strong. We can all be aggressive. We can all, be talented at kickboxing. We can all go and learn jiu-jitsu and apply ourselves. But the mental side of things is what can win you or lose you the fight before it even takes place. Having the confidence to push yourself, having the confidence to believe in yourself. It's like Luke Rockhold famously said, I'm a samurai. I believe in these things. But he was right, though. I took the piss, but he was absolutely right in what he said.
Yeah, it is critical, especially on fight night, right? The stress, the waiting, especially when you're the main event and fighting for a championship. You sit in the back, everybody's got to go out there. You see everything happen, and you've got to still stay focused and confident. And those moments is when all that doubt tries to creep in, tries to get in your head, starts to think, oh, you didn't do this. You did, goes through all the checklist of things that maybe you could have done in preparation for this. So to be saying already those kind of things, you're not putting yourself in, even if it was true, just to say it out loud, I think does show a bit of weakness in his preparation mentally more than anything. Because physically, you look at the kid, he's a stud. He's always in phenomenal shape. He's like super flexible too. Have you ever seen any of those videos where he's like on the machine twisting his back and stuff?
I have seen that exact one where he's rotating like crazy.
Oh my God, that would have shattered your back into 1,000 pieces doing that same move right there.
Bro, I'm going to Bioaccelerator, Medellin in Colombia at the weekend. I'm coming back a new man, okay?
You're going to look like Tsarukyan when you come back.
I'm on my way there already, bro.
Make sure you bring back some souvenirs from Colombia for the rest of us.
What do you want? Some marching powder?
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
What was I going to say there? Harrington, just look up real quick for me. What were the words that he said? Because he said that Dana was pulled up next to him in a car. He had some kind of quote what he said on the podcast. But speaking of Arman and speaking of the longest winning streaks, John Jones has the record at 19 fight win streak. Anderson Silva next at 16 and Islam Makhachev 14 fights in a row. Pretty good. Don't play the clip, Brian. Harrington just put it in the chat because it's not English. It's not English. Just see if you can interpret it. I think he said something like he was driving in his Phantom and then Dana and Hunter pulled up and he made the point of saying in a regular BMW. And I was like, bullshit. Dana and Hunter, they aren't rolling around in regular BMWs. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're not in the 3 Series. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, they're rolling around in the best. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, I saw a little bit of that clip when he pulled up and Dana got out of the car and he's like, what are you doing, son?
I have it here. Dana and Hunter went for a drive after dinner. He said, they jumped into a regular BMW and they rolled out. He said he drove up his driver drove up alongside them in a Phantom and they waved to the driver. Then Arman put his window down and they were like, yo, what are you doing back there? And they said, I know you got in a fight at UFC 300, but is there something we don't know about the payout? Or is there something we don't know how much we paid you for the fight at UFC 300?
Harrington, give us a non-MMA story. Sorry, give us an MMA story, please. In fact, I'll pick one from the list. Let's have a look what we got. So what do you think? Colby Covington says he wants to go up to middleweight. I don't know about that. Arman says he's not interested. Should we talk about the GFL, the Global Fight League? Do you know about this? Have you seen this stuff? Harrington, be ready with some stats, some figures, some names, some info. But
seems like everybody's getting signed up for this.
They got some big names. They got Paige Van Zandt. They got Vanderlei Silva. Hey,
I think Pettis might be on there. Velasquez is being brought on as, I don't know if he's a fighter or as a mentor or coach or something.
He's a coach, I believe. Yeah.
So are they doing it like the old days when we had IFL? What was it, IFL? Is that what they're going for?
Apparently,
like an IFL team thing.
Yeah, Harrington, if you've got the information there, jump on and share. But it's going to be kind of like the IFL. I think they're going to have like drafting and stuff like that. You get certain points for winning, and it's kind of like a team thing. They tried it with the IFL. It was a novel thing. Didn't really work. I don't think that kind of setup is applicable to fight sports. It's not a team sport. It's a singular mano a mano, or woman versus woman, one against one. Who's the best? Let's go. It's not a team situation. But Harrington, what you got?
There is 9 former UFC champions who they claim to have signed so far, as well as some big names like Gegard Mousasi, Hector Lombard, Kyle Dawkins, Luke Rockhold is signed on with them.
Dawkins got on?
Yeah, Dawkins got over there. Greg Hardy, Junior Dos Santos, Alexander Gustafsson, to name a few. And the idea is they want to treat it like a regular sports league. So the concept would be 50%, like how the NFL, NBA, all of those leagues, they have like a 50-50 revenue share, right? Like some are 55, some are 40, whatever the case may be. But the idea is they want whatever money comes in to half of it to be redistributed back to the athletes. The issue is they don't have any dates, nothing planned yet, no venue signed. And what people are claiming is that all of these quote unquote signings are just them building a roster to then go and fish for investment to get this thing actually off the ground, a la the Affliction model.
That's exactly what I was going to say, because, messing around in the acting world, it's always the same shit. A lot of the stuff that I even talk about, it's going to be an independent thing, and someone comes out and they talk to you, and the agent's like, Mike, they just want to attach a few people, and then when they've got a few people attached, then they go and try and get the money. So we've got this actor, we've got that actor, this actor. So it's kind of the same thing, because who's the money behind it, Harrington? Who's spearheading this movement? Do they have experience in the fight world? Do they have respect in the fight world? Because look, listen, I'm very happy for all these guys. I hope. I saw on Twitter, apparently one guy's signed a contract for $1.4 million for his fight. Apparently, that's all well and good. Having a contract.
Does it exist? Well, we can say we're going to give you that.
Do you actually get to fight? Do you actually get to cash that check? That's a very, very different thing. Listen, it's all well and good. These are names that we all know. So there will be some nostalgia added to it. I mean, Vanderlei Silva's a bloody legend, for crying out loud. But they're past it.
I was just going to say that too. Yeah. I was going to say, who on that list is under 35 years old?
I'm not saying they're all past it, and they can provide some entertainment for sure.
But it's not. It's not the young, up and coming, title contending type athletes, right? You're getting a lot of the guys. If we know them and have name value, and they're no longer under big contracts, that's, again, like you said, not that they're not fantastic, but it probably means they're at the tail end of it, right? Where they were former champions in the UFC years ago at this point. And listen, I'm here for it. I'm all about other leagues, and especially for this one with at least a different concept, because I think that's where a lot of these other leagues fail. They try to do what the UFC does. We do it best. We just do. I mean, they're the best at putting on the shows the way we put on shows and running in the business. If you want to compete and have something different, you've got to do something different so that people can still watch the UFC and the top athletes. And then if we have this on the side and it's a cool fight league with teams and things like that. But again, It's been tried before, and there's a lot of money being talked about. But kind of like Harrington said, where maybe they're just using it to fish for the bankroll that doesn't exist yet. But I don't know.
I think everyone sees the UFC, right? And this is, it's a weird thing anytime we talk about it because we both work for the company.
Yeah, we work for them. Yeah.
It's a global sensation. It's one of the most valuable sports enterprises on the planet, right? What they've achieved. Here's Jiri. Here's Jiri sent me a message.
Hey, Mike. Sorry, man. I forgot because I had a training here in PI and give me please 15 minutes and I'll be there.
Easy. All right, well, there we go. So Jiri's coming. He's working hard. It's almost like he's got a big fight with Jamahal Hill around the corner next week.
Right around the corner, man. Pay-per-view around the corner. Fight night this weekend. Let's go.
What do you think about that fight between Jamahal and Jiri?
Well, first off, I love it. Those guys are savages. Jamahal is just, got knockout power, and he's so. And I don't mean this in a bad way towards him, but he's so bitter with the way that things have gone recently, right? But you know what I mean? That you can't help but think that he knows he wants to go make a statement. He knows he wants to go out there and shut up because he's been vocal. Anytime people talk trash to him on social media, he'll come back at you. He'll do an interview about it. He's vocal about his feelings towards things. So when he's going to go out there, he wants to just shove it in the faces of all the haters. Because if you look at social media, everyone comes out of the woodwork against him, just talking shit constantly. And then Jiri's a samurai. So that's all that needs to be said about that guy. So it's going to be fun. I don't know who's going to win. I really don't, Michael. I don't know.
I'm at the gym this morning. I'm doing my warm-up, the Stairmaster, 20 minutes, because I pulled my calf last year. No, the 1st of January, I'm on the bag in the garage. I'm like, oh, my God, I'm feeling good. I'm doing spinning back kicks.
I'm ready to come back.
Pulled my calf like a dickhead. And then it was getting better. And then I re-hurt it again yesterday. So I'm plodding along on the Stairmaster this morning. Little tip. You want the time to go quick? Watch YouTube videos. Don't listen to music. Watch some YouTube videos. Before you know it, 10 minutes has passed. Anyway, I'm watching an interview with Jamahal with, what's his name? James Lynch. Have you seen his stuff? Yeah.
I know James,
James is really good at what he does, by the way. So I'm watching them two having an interview, and James said to him, so what's the plan with you? Is it just, is there anything particular that you got to take into consideration, given his style and the way that he operates and stuff like that? He's like, no, it's just business as usual. I just do my thing. I couldn't care less what they're going to do. And I was like, well, yeah, you have got to fight your fight. Of course you do. But you've also got to look at what the threat that your opponent brings. Jiri is unique in many ways.
Awkward.
He's very awkward, unique, powerful, aggressive. He's in your face, massively unpredictable, ridiculously experienced. I mean, Jamahal did say he doesn't believe that Jiri's chin will be marginalized because of the two knockouts to Alex Pereira. And I agree with what he said there. He said, unless you get really badly knocked out, I thought he was going to say like Bisping against Henderson, but he didn't. I thought he was going to say that. He said, but unless you get sparked out where you're unconscious for minutes, he said he doesn't think that really affects, your chin in general. What do you think about that?
I don't know if it works that way. You know what I mean? Like I think sometimes it can actually be the opposite. And I'm not trying to just kind of playing devil's advocate, but they say that the trauma really comes from
on this show, anytime you want to say devil's advocate, you got to say devil's avocado.
Devil's avocado.
It's an old one.
I'll play devil's avocado. I think the accumulation of shots, and if you don't go out, I mean, obviously, if you get knocked out cold, it's doing some damage to us. It's for some reason, but accumulation of shots is what really, I think, over time takes your chin away. Oh, there he is.
There he is. My man. How we doing, champ?
Yeah, sorry for the delay, but I had a training, so.
Of course. Well, thank you for your time, Jiri. I really appreciate it. I know you got a massive fight coming up next week. Jamahal Hill. What do you think about this fight? Obviously, he's upsetting a lot of people online at the moment. You guys have a similar opponent with Alex Pereira. You both fought him last. What do you think about this matchup, and how do you feel about Jamahal in general?
In general, I think he's a guy with he can catch the people with the punches. With Glover, he showed very good cardio and very good endurance in a fight. To how to catch the opponent and how to endure till the fifth round. But like I said, there is a few things when I see the space, how to catch him, and also he said the same. So I think this fight will be how we handle that here. Yeah, that'll be about that. Yeah.
And Jiri, in terms of how Jamahal still seems to be mentally really focused and so concerned about the Alex Pereira fight, how does that make you feel as his opponent? Do you feel at all that you're being disrespected or overlooked when he's still going up to Alex in the PI and starting drama? How do you take all that?
I don't care about that. Really. I don't care about that. Like today's morning training, I had a strength training here in PI, and Jamahal had two in the same room. We had a same strength training, but I don't care what he's doing, what he's saying right now, because I don't know him personally. I really don't care what he's doing, how is his preparation looking. I just want to see him in a fight day and show my best performance to be strongest mentally, physically on the weigh-in and in a fight day. That's all what I want, and no other focus for any other things. So that's it.
Yeah. None of that other bullshit is important at the end of the day, let's be honest. Let me ask you a question, Jiri. You walk up to Alex Pereira in a gym, you're talking to him, he throws a pair of gloves at your feet. What do you do?
Let's fight.
Jiri, you're a very interesting, awesome martial artist of a guy, and you've always intrigued a lot of fans with some of the stuff that you do outside of the octagon, whether it be meditation, whether it be physical things that you challenge yourself just to kind of prove your mental toughness to yourself to get ready. Has there been anything interesting or unique that you've done in this camp in preparation for Jamahal Hill? Something that would be fun for the fans that like to follow your journey?
I don't want to speak about like what I did have to do to make this camp like successful. But what I want to say, like everybody knows that, like I had a camp in Japan, beautiful camp, amazing camp, visiting beautiful places, trained with big masters, the biggest masters of karate, made a black belt in Kyokushin karate, visited the beautiful visited the beautiful places, and trained on the really strong places in Japan. Then in Mexico City, climbed the Popocatépetl, the mountain, the volcano. Then another one. So there is many things what I did, but this is all of the all a part of the preparation what I have to do, because this is about that one thing. This is about to be the strongest man. And it's really simple. If you know the principle of how to get the true power from the nature, from the people, from your opponent, from experiences, then you just have to challenge yourself everywhere. And sometimes it's really stupid, sometimes it's really really weird, sometimes it's really numb, but this is all about because we choose that to be the fighters, to be the strongest persons on this planet. So this is all about.
Hell yeah.
See, this is why I love talking to you, Jiri. And this is why I truly believe you are unique in this sport. Of course, we're all martial artists, okay? We train in martial arts. We do wrestling and jiu-jitsu and kickboxing and things like that. But I feel like a lot of people do the physical side of martial arts, but they don't go down the same spiritual journey, that side of martial arts, like you do. Do you feel like a lot of the UFC roster and a lot of fighters all around the world, because mixed martial arts as a sport is very big, do you feel there is a little bit lacking on the spiritual side?
Oh man, and the spiritual side is the same like the personal side of the life of each other person. Yeah, because the spiritual thing is nothing else, just our inner state of our mind, of our how we can embrace our inner space. And this is what is about. And for me right now, it's I was there so long, so I totally forgot for to be a normal man, to have a girl, to have a child, because this is the thing for me right now. What is really on the place on right now, like most important. So because you have, if you want to be the strong guy, you have to be not just in a one part, this really strong guy, a strong man, but you have to evolve in every part. To be a good person, to be a spiritual man, to be a physically good man, to be a mentally strong man, and the life will make you really will make you strong. If you ask for the strength, for a discipline, like the God will give you these opportunities to prove you how disciplined can you be in the hardest moments.
What's more important to you, Jiri? Is it, because a lot of people they go on this journey for money, right? But what's important to you? I feel like it's different for you. Is it about being the best martial artist? Is it about being the champion? Or is it about securing financial freedom? What's more important to you?
These values, what we fighting for, is for every fighter, like different. You know, some guys there is the money is the really important for them, because they feel like they need to make a money for to give them for the family, or I can't speak to for another people. But for me, there have to be, it's necessary for on the first place, the God, and everyone can choose what is for him the most important. What is the God for him? What is the most important? Where to give the focus? If you have to fight till death, till the victory, and how to say, to give whatever to take a win, sacrifice. That this is the right moment. If you have to sacrifice whatever, if you have to sacrifice yourself for what? For money, for victory, for me is a simple. This is a God. And behind the word God, every spiritual learn will show you the behind the word God there is a word I. Every one of each us. Just so we are looking for the truest, the strongest ourselves. That's all. So we have to sacrifice ourselves to find ourselves in the purest form.
That's
so
some
no
deep
money,
words, Jiri.
no money, there's no prize for that. There is no such a big thing what you can give to win yourself in the purest form. That's all.
I love it. I don't know about you, Paul, but I could speak to you all day, Jiri, because you're a very, very deep thinker. You're a unique guy. Let me ask, what makes you smile? Because you're very intense.
I'm not
what makes
saying
you smile?
that. I'm not telling you that because I want to be interested or I want to be. This is
No, I know.
I'm just honest.
Yeah.
This is just honest, and that's why people love to watch the sport, because the sports, every sportsman, every athlete, and especially the fighters who's fighting, who have to show the truest form of themselves, the strongest form of themselves. This is the purest form of ourselves, and we have to show this to the world, because this world is a little bit
crazy.
My man. You're messing with us, Jiri. You froze up for the longest time, brother.
Sorry.
No.
Catching the signal.
No. Do not be sorry.
Here is the best signal.
Yeah, no. Thank you. Don't be sorry, Jiri. We really, really appreciate your time. Where were we? What were we talking about? You were talking about God, and behind every meaning of God, there's an I, and all the rest of it. And it was very deep stuff. And just while you jumped off, I was saying to Paul, we've got to remember that English is not even your first language. And I would love to speak to you in your native language, because I'm sure there's a lot more to it. But what makes you smile, Jiri? What puts a smile on that face? What makes you happy?
Man, right now, I'm in a part of life, in the cycle of life, where I don't care what's make me happy. I don't care what's about the material things, was the best, and who's the best, who's who's around me. I just know I need to work. I need to hard work, and I need to overcome myself and show the best performance to the world, to myself, to the world, and to be the best version of myself, because this is what I really want inside myself, and that makes me smile. Yeah.
And Jiri, you have a very fun style, a very unique style. And we were talking about it earlier before you came on. And you're a guy that you talk about going to Japan. You talk about going to Mexico City and seeking out all these places and training in the environment that you feel you almost gain some energy from. We hear a lot of martial artists nowadays talk about this team and that team, but you seem to be a guy that kind of has your own schedule, do your own thing. Is that true? Are there people that you always keep around you when you're training, or does it change depending on where you're at and who you're seeking out for that particular fight?
So the question is?
So I'm asking, do you have the same group of people around you all the time, or does that change from camp to camp? Sorry.
No. For me, it's necessary to keep not the same people, but to evolve with these same people, to show them that I'm on another level, and show me the same. You can go with me. Yeah. Sometimes the coaches, sometimes the sparring partners, somebody leave, somebody's come new, but in the basic, there is still the same people. Like the same people, and I really like to go like together, step by step, evolve in the training, like a person, like a friends, like professional sparring partners. Yeah. So first, I was with coaches, like they showed me the way how to be a man. Right now, it's more about like to be partners, to be a good friends, to show where is the small spaces where you can be better in the fighting. And I believe them because they have a lot of experiences, not just life experiences, but from fighting, especially from fighting. And that's why I like to be with the same people. Still going to the camps, go to the camps, find a new experience, fight a new sparring partners, but going back to the same team who made me to be a world champion, and to work with them to be better and better. Me, them, everybody.
Excellent.
Let me ask you about Alex Pereira. You've been a champion. You've got respect all over the world. Everybody, if you watch the sport, everybody knows Jiří Procházka. Everybody knows what you're capable of. They know how good you are. You were a champion. You fought Alex Pereira, and you fought him twice.
Yeah.
I know, or I think I know, what kind of competitor you are. Does Alex Pereira fuel you and motivate you to get better? And is that like, is he like the ultimate boss? You know what I mean? It's like, that's the guy. There he is. He's like in a video game, the final boss. I'm going to get him. Yeah. I'm going to get him eventually. I'm going to beat this game. I'm going to get Alex Pereira. Is that like the whole mission for you? Or am I wrong?
Man, it can be, maybe it can be funny for somebody, but still, I believe I can fight them and I can win the fight. It's like in the game. Just don't give up. Just don't give up. Find a way how to overcome yourself, how to be a better person, how to be a better fighter, and find a way how to win this level. That's all. And like you said, yes, I'm really glad that he showed me biggest mistakes, because I'm all the time speaking about the best mastermind and all these things. And he just showed that. He really showed that, and he really showed that in the fight, in the technique. He ride the way to catch me. So yeah, that was for me the biggest lesson, one of the biggest lesson in my life. And right now I'm in a part of life where I have no other chance. That is the answer when you ask me what's make you smile right now. For me right now, make me smile to understand why all these happens, where was the mistakes, what not repeat, and what to do to be better person and better fighter to overcome this level.
Yeah. Well, Jiri, what you've achieved so far has been incredible. So be proud of yourself, because it took me a very, very long time. I lost fights, I won fights, I lost fights and won fights. You don't give up. We're always evolving. We're always learning. We're always improving as martial artists. What you've achieved so far is incredible. Good luck at UFC 311. It's going to be an incredible contest. I'm very, very excited for it. You're one of my favorites, Jiri. I mean that. I am a huge fan. I love everything about you. I love the way you operate. I love the violence that you bring. I love the awareness to martial arts that you bring. I love the fact that you're a samurai, and I mean that with so much respect, and I mean that. So thank you for your time. Us, my man, let's go.
Thanks, Jiri. You're the man.
Yeah, let's go.
Thank you, Jiri. He's gone. No, but I mean everything I said. He's so unique and original, and I love that.
I love it too. And as somebody that grew up in traditional martial arts and followed the traditional ways of everything, the mental approach, all that, doing knuckle push-ups on boards, getting in trouble by my sensei if I talked back to my mom or my dad around them. So I always appreciate another guy that has that, but even more than I ever did. I appreciate it as well.
Get it up, Paul. Get it up. Yeah,
exactly.
He's
just got to get the Wi-Fi figured out. That's all.
He's got to get the Wi-Fi figured out.
But man, when you're traveling the world and living in dark rooms and doing awesome things like that, the Wi-Fi is not always good. You got to be able to live without it.
I mean, fortunately, with modern technology, that's how we're able to just get guests on the fly like that. It's amazing, but sometimes it's not the best. But Jiri, thank you. But I do think that is kind of lacking. I love the fact that mixed martial arts and the UFC is so popular. I love the fact there's so much awareness and skill, and like every bloody nerd down the street has got cauliflower ears these days. Be careful what you're doing. Don't be bullying some little pencil neck dickhead. You're going to get choked out.
Yeah.
But a lot of, like we said, the spiritual side, I use that for Jiri because he mentioned that word a second ago. People probably know I'm not an overly spiritual guy, but I know what I mean there about the martial arts and the discipline and the respect and all that side of it. That kind of side of it doesn't seem to have been dragged along with the technique side of it. Do you agree with that, Paul?
Yeah, 100%. When MMA started to really take over, the other martial arts kind of fell off, right? Karate wasn't as popular. Taekwondo, judo, all those things weren't quite as popular as they were when we were younger, right? That's all we had really around us. Like when I started wanting to do martial arts, UFC existed, but in its early stages, and the traditional stuff, that's what people used to have to do martial arts. Now you can just go in a t-shirt and shorts. So it's, as much as I love all that and it's convenient, I do miss that you had to put in the work and the time and prove that you were a good person to be able to learn some of the things that you had to back in the day. And you're right, that has been lost on the new generation of fighters, where it's just a sport. It's like playing football. It's just MMA. You go and you train, shower afterwards, drink a protein shake and get out of there. We didn't used to be able to drink water, which of course scientifically is stupid.
It's terrible.
I wasn't allowed to have water on the mat. You
can't in Khabib's gym either. Apparently, you can't stop for a drink whenever you want one.
And look at those guys. There's an element of that. It's different. It's a different tradition and how they handle things. But Khabib has that same style, that almost hardcore sensei style about the way he handles it, just like his dad did, I'm sure.
I loved, like when I started doing jiu-jitsu when I was a kid, Japanese jiu-jitsu. I loved, looking back, I loved it. You lined up in grade order. You know,
Yep.
like the sensei at the front with the sampi, that's what we used to call it.
Black belts,
and then the black belts all up, and then there would be multiple rows. And you'd walk in on your first day, and you wouldn't have a gi or anything, and you were at the back with the other knobheads. Do you know what I mean? And you were like, you had to do as you're told. You had to shut the hell up. You couldn't say shit. You know what I mean? Or get out. This isn't for you. You know what I mean? Yeah. And if you told the line and you were respectful and you listened and you trained, you could come back next week. And then after 2 or 3 times, well, you got to get a gi. You know what I mean? And then you slowly work your way up. And before you know it, years later, it felt so good. You're at the front. Or the sensei's like, can you run the warm up or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Huge, man.
Yeah. When I was a kid, if the sensei said, can you run the warm up? I'm like, right, I can.
You're damn right I can.
This is going to be the best warm-up you have ever seen in your goddamn life.
Yeah, people are gassed out after it. You're so pumped.
Yeah. Anyway, Jiri's the absolute goddamn man. All right, Harrington, what you got, bud?
So I think this one's kind of interesting. At UFC 311, Themba Gorimbo, was not victorious. Actually had a TKO loss against Vicente Luque. He said the messed up part, his family members back in Africa were celebrating the loss. He said he saw videos of his little cousins like dancing around, just, being jubilant at, the fact that he was viciously knocked out against Vicente Luque.
That pisses me off.
Yeah. I saw that. He was doing an interview about it, and he was pretty genuine about, with the interview person. Like, imagine how that makes you feel seeing people that are your relatives and back from where you're at, born and raised, celebrating your loss. And it's like, is it jealousy? Is it because he left to try to better himself that you're hating on him? Like, oh, look, you left us and now you're having some failure. It's just,
it's all of that, Paul.
It's just families, no matter what. It just shows you that sometimes people are jealous and hate when you try something great.
Themba came on this show a while ago and he shared with us his story and what he went through. And it's wild, man. Fighters, we've all got a story for the most part, what we went through to shape who we are today, but what that guy went through was crazy, working in like the diamond fields and people shooting at him and all kinds of shit and not eating for days on end and stuff like that. He's made it out to America. He's made a success of himself. He's fighting in the UFC. You would think that people back home from his community, his bloody family members, of course, would all be cheering for him, supporting him, inspired by him, and saying, hey, look, we can all do better. Look at Themba. He was able to get out. He was able to break the mold, break the cycle, make something of himself. But no, his own cousins cheering and celebrating the fact that he got knocked out. I think that's utterly disgusting. And sadly, though, it's not uncommon because I guarantee it's happened to me. I don't know about instances, but I know about people that I know that I heard from friends and they were kind of talking shit and all the rest of it. And when I started trying to get my life on track and I was, making something of myself, people were talking shit. So who does he think he is? What's he doing? He's kidding himself. Just because he's a bit of a tough nut in the pubs, he thinks he's going to go off and become this and become that and all the rest of it. Well, they ain't laughing now. Do you know what I mean? And it's just, that just really pisses me off.
Yeah. I mean, I hope that a part of him, though, over time realizes, though, that the more success you have, the more haters you're going to have, right? We know this. Anytime that you get yourself put in the spotlight, even if it is people that you know are close to you, the more people are wishing for your demise, that means the bigger things that you're doing. So for Themba, just keep doing your thing, man. And obviously you're going to take losses in this organization. You're fighting the best guys, and that was a big step up. And facing Vicente Luque, who's a stud and has been around the game as long as he has. There's a big learning lesson. That guy is no joke. And you took it on short notice, right? It was a change of opponent. So just don't ever send any presents back for them. That's for goddamn sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy for them to hate on him, I guess. He's got the rock buying him apartments and stuff like that.
And that's the thing, right? I'm sure they're looking at that, and there's going to be jealousy. You're going to, and it'd be one thing if it was, his parents or something celebrating it, but it's cousins. They're just jealous. They can be assholes.
And as you said, losses, they come. I mean, we were just speaking to Jiří Procházka. Granted, there's people out there. You got your Khabib Nurmagomedovs. You've got your Islam Makhachev, who got beat once by Adriano Martins, but other than that, he's been perfect. You've got your Alex Pereiras, even though he did lose to Israel Adesanya. But you know what I mean? You have these people like a Conor McGregor when he was coming up, smoked everybody, became a 2-weight division champion. But in mixed martial arts, unlike boxing, as we know, the trajectory normally is you do well, you do pretty good, you lose one, you learn, you get better, and you work and you scratch and you claw your way to the top. And I think that's what Jiří Procházka was talking about. And that's why I said to him, I wasn't being disrespectful. I'm assuming your big motivation. And then when I said it's like the final level in a video game, the big boss is Alex Pereira. That's the guy that gets you out of bed. That's the guy that's the reason probably that you're flying to Japan and going to Mexico City and doing all this kind of stuff, because you're like, hold on a minute, I've got to get better. And stuff like that just makes you improve. And especially when you've got people at home celebrating and cheering that you got knocked out, that you got slept, your own family members, fuck me. If that was me, that's going to just push me and fuel me to the absolute next level.
Oh, yeah. You want to talk about shutting up the haters, especially when they're your own family. Oh, boy, that'll get you going. And I think for the Jiri thing, that's what's so fascinating also about that matchup is that's clearly what both of these guys are hungry to get back, right? Jamahal is more vocal about it, but like you got Jiri to kind of open up like, I think about those things. That guy showed me that I need to get better. That guy showed me that there are still flaws in my game and I need to become better. And that's how that guy's mind looks at these things. And that's what's so fascinating about it. He's not going to dwell on it in a negative way. He's going to look at it as almost like a thank you for showing me that I have things that need improvement. And that's the martial artisan. That's where that old school mentality comes from.
Yeah, and I was going to ask Jiri, but it was hard because of his signal issues and stuff like that. And he was very generous with his time. So I didn't want to go into it. But he was talking about trying to improve himself. And I did want to ask him what that stuff looked like, because Jiri is very true to his style in terms of, he's a karateka by nature. He's very formal. The chin is kind of high. His hands and his guard is kind of wide. And I wanted to ask him in a respectful way, are those some of the things that he's looking at and giving attention to? Because they're the things that kind of stand out. Do you know what I mean? That because Jamahal Hill, more of a boxing style, tighter guard, powerful hands, and I'm sure that Jamal's just going to approach it from a boxing kind of style, look for those openings, look for the chin. So Jiri, whilst he has got a tremendous amount of advantages in his skill set and his approach and the varied attacks that he has, the glaring open target, if you will, the chin is somewhat a little exposed.
Yeah, that's why when I heard him going to Japan, though, I would think if he's working with a lot of those karate guys, it's still going to be that same kind of style. But how do you still keep that, right? Because that is what makes you a major weapon, is that kind of open karate style and the way he leaps in with stuff. But can you do that and still tighten the guard? And yeah, it's a shame we didn't get to talk to him too much, because that was actually something I wanted to ask about. Like, what? Are you a guy that then looks at those and tries to game plan? Because he doesn't really strike me as that kind of guy that's going to go through and really try to have a set game plan in place. And, this happened to me last time, I need to fix these things. I feel like he's just,
what will be.
It's just going to be how it's going to be.
Will be complete. Okay. He ain't game plan. He's just going to be the best version of himself, going to get in crazy shape. He's going to meditate naked on top of a volcano for 24 hours straight. He's going to have bone broth for 75 hours. He's going to pray at the Buddha temple for 100 hours, and then he's going to go fight. Okay. The man's unique. He's awesome. I love every second of it. Earlier today, I was able to sit down with the machine, Merab Dvalishvili. Paul was out there doing 1,000 miles on a bike, so I had to do this on my own. Where are you, the PI?
Yes, UFC PI, yes.
You're at the UFC PI. Let me ask you, this time, getting into the PI, was there any issues?
No issue this time.
What about Umar? Was Umar around?
I think now he's here morning, and I guess I'm allowed to come after too, I guess.
You looked pretty pissed off in that video when I saw it.
Yeah, I was mad because he disrespect me in Twitter, which is I don't deserve it from him, because I know him in person and I always show him respect, and I always have a nice conversation with him, and yeah, I understand. Of course, he wants to fight for the belt, but to disrespect me like that, they call me fake champion, and make some he makes some. What's it called, expression, then he say it's a Georgian expression, which is not Georgian expression, and even mentioned my country and they call me fake champion, which is I don't deserve it, and I was mad. And when I see him, I ask him, why you disrespect me? He say, because I want. But in press conference, he lie. He say, I never disrespect you. And I was mad. But now I move on, Mike, and I'm just focusing for the fight, and life is good. I'm grateful for everything. And I'm going to show up January 18, and you guys going to see a good fight.
Oh, we can't wait, Merab. We cannot wait. There's one thing you are not, brother, and that is a fake champion. You went out there, you beat Sean O'Malley, fair and square. You gave him a few kisses on the shoulder for good measure. Talk to me about that whole experience before we talk about Umar. I mean, fighting at the Sphere, becoming the champion. I mean, what a night.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, it was a great night for me, and I was focused for fight, and it was easy actually for me. I was just doing smart work, and I was able to win the belt, and I was so happy because I earned it. You know, nobody gave it to me, nothing, and I deserve it, and that was great experience, and I always will be grateful. And life is good, and now I'm hungry, I'm motivated, and I want to keep going. I'm coming back. It's gonna be a little bit short notice, not short notice, like short, you know, whatever it is, you know, I'm coming back, like quick turnaround, and ready to go again.
I mean, it's quite the journey, Merab, because you were on Dana White looking for a fight. They signed you then, and now here you are, all these years later, champion of the world. You take out Sean O'Malley, who is, I'm a big fan of Sean. I think he's an incredible fighter. Of course, you shut him down. You use the game plan to a T. Use that wrestling that you're known for. Against Umar Nurmagomedov, what kind of a fight are you expecting? I mean, does anything change for you? Do you just go out there and use the Georgian wrestling, the Georgian power, show us the machine, or are we going to see something different?
Exactly. I'm going to show Georgian wrestling and Georgian toughness. And I'm going to break the guy. It's going to be a great fight. You know, Umar is a good fighter, but usually when I fight against good fighter and against tough fighter, I always show up, and as long as I'm healthy, I'm good, and I'll be fine. It's gonna be a great fight. I'm not accepting any easy fight from Umar. You know, as a fighter, I always respect him, and I always know that he's a good fighter. And I'm excited to fight a good fighter like Umar. He's undefeated, and I'm gonna change his record.
Obviously, as you say, he's undefeated. He comes from a great team, you know, a great lineage, if you will. Why do you think he's getting personal? It seems a little bit out of character for him. Why do you think he's like on the attack and being a bit disrespectful to you?
I have no idea. I mean, he should not do that because, like I said, I mean, we have to be men first, and we have to be like, you know, I don't did anything disrespectful to him, you know, and just I don't know why he was doing that, but that's mistake for him. And like I said, he respects. No, he lost. In my eyes, I don't give him any more respect as a man. You know, like I'm just. But as a fighter, I like I said, he's a good fighter, and I'm excited to fight him. And so it's gonna be a great fight.
When I look at your style and I look at his style, he's a good wrestler. you're a good wrestler. A lot of the time in the UFC, when two wrestlers fight each other, a lot of the time they cancel each other out and the fight ends up on the feet. Is that a scenario that you think might come true, or you don't think about that?
Maybe. Because you're right. We may. I mean, I'm ready for striking. You know, I'm really training for like you know, I'm not gonna looking for take him down, control, like lay on top like O'Malley. You know, I'm going to punch his face, kick his legs, and keep in the feet. And I'm gonna show good fight. It's gonna be great fight. You know, even it's gonna be a lot of scrapping, a lot of exchanges, lots of you know. I believe it's gonna be maybe fight of the night or something. Good fight.
Yeah, and it's a great fight card from top to bottom. So congratulations on everything, Merab. You get to fight in Los Angeles at the brand new arena, the Intuit Dome. It costs like $2 billion. Have you seen that place?
No, of course not. No, but I heard it's a great arena, and I'm excited.
Yeah. My son went there recently to watch a basketball game. He said it's unbelievable. The technology's out of this world. So enjoy, buddy. Enjoy. I'm not going to be there. Sadly, I won't be there. But you are Georgian. You are the champion of the world. There's now 2 Georgian champs. We saw a video of you going back to Georgia when you became the champion, and the response that you got from your people. That was beautiful, Merab. It was amazing to see.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Mike. Yeah, it was a really crazy experience for me because I am same guy. When I left my country, and I have a big goal to like fighting big organization like UFC. But even I'm in UFC, I'm still hungry. I'm still going forward. I'm still learning. I'm still like think that I have to learn more and I have to get better. But when I win the belt and I go to my country, I was shocked at how people were so happy, excited for me. And I see them eyes, the love and support and happy. And I was shocked, even me, like standing this little guy on top of the bus, and then looking, all these people came out from me outside and waiting for me. And that was crazy. I wish this can feel everyone, you know, like this is such crazy moment. And yes,
yeah, that's crazy, man. It's crazy. Like when we start this journey as being a fighter, we never expect stuff like that. We're just trying to, you know, we're trying to make some money. We're trying to do whatever we can with the skills that God gave us, so to speak. You know, you never expect that you're going to be standing on top of a bloody bus and there's hundreds of people just going crazy for you. I mean, you deserve it all, Merab. You've been very quiet on the social media front for this one. Normally you're out there, you're talking a little bit of shit, you're doing these skits, you had the Sean O'Malley in the car and the party going on and everything. Why have you been so quiet this time?
I'm extra focused for my next fight, you know. And also Umar, he don't deserve to me make fun of him, or I'm not gonna joke with him, you know. It's serious. It's a serious battle. And yeah, I don't have time for joke now, and I'm like really training hard, and it's gonna be a good fight, you know. I don't think I have to like first, like, you know, I don't want to this fight, like, because like I'm like how I'm gonna make fun of him, how I'm gonna joke with him. He's from different world, but like he don't understand, and especially he disrespect me now. But I don't think we have to promote this fight. I don't have to promote this fight. You know, I'm a champion now. He has to promote this fight if he wants, but not to disrespect me and call me fake champion. And you know, we are fighting co-main event, but I think like most fans are excited. No, I think fans are excited to our fight most. You know, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Those top 3 fights, they're all ridiculous. It really is a great event. Merab, do you think Umar is the toughest fight for you in the division? And once you get through Umar, then that's just it. You're going to have a field day and just destroy everybody?
No, I won't say that because... no, I won't say this because Bautista, he has a 7-fight win streak now. And he's good contender also. And then like we don't know. I did beat Peter, but rematch will be interesting. Now O'Malley will have a different game plan. He landed me two punch or something. I felt that he can really knock people out, and he has a really power strong. He hits really hard. So, and then next fight will be next challenge, and there is guys that coming up. I know there is guys in top 15. Like I just don't really remember names, but I think number 15 and number 14 guys, they are really good. I mean, they have long win streak also, and there is so many. I'm excited. I just want to be busy now. I was thinking, Mike, too. Maybe I will become champion and I will fight every 6 months, and I will. But it's not like this. It's just so much pressure and like this. Then now I realize no more vacation, nothing. I'm just gonna be focused for fight, and I'm just gonna be, I'm just gonna keep fighting because I was gonna do. Yeah.
But didn't you say you want 3 fights in 6 months?
I do. Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. And would one of those be Sean O'Malley? He wants a rematch, of course.
Yeah.
You're happy to give him a rematch?
Yes, absolutely. Because first I have to focus Umar fight, and I'm gonna, God willing, I'm gonna win this fight. And after, I wanted to fight in March. Like I wanna, no, actually, I after my fight, I wanna take like 5 months or maximum 6 months. So the 5 months was in February, and 6 months was in April. And sorry. So 5 months was from my fight in February, and 6 months was in March. And when I say this, Umar, of course, disrespect me in Twitter, and he say, Merab, February fight is in Australia, and I'm not fighting there, and March is Ramadan, and I had no idea when was the Ramadan, because Ramadan was in May last year. And I'm a Christian, so I don't know when was the Ramadan. It's not my problem. So I'm a champion, and Belal Muhammad fighting in Ramadan, and I had no idea, but he disrespect me, and so ideally I wanted to fight in March. So because fight is in Vegas, and I would love to fight here. And now, if O'Malley not will be ready for March, I will fight Pereria in March. And I know O'Malley said he will be ready for April, and April fight is in Miami. And O'Malley said he's undefeated in Miami, he's undefeated in rematches, and let's go. I give him chance, and I'm excited too. Like I said, rematches. You had rematch, and. Kamar Usman had rematch, and so not always go like first time, it's
Yeah, no, of course. So you're saying though, because you are the champion, you get to call the shots. But this guy wanted to fight a little bit later, but you're like, you know what? You've pissed me off. I'll do it kind of short notice, and we'll fight in January because you want to settle a score.
No, UFC need me, and I step up, and I said no problem. I'm grateful for UFC, and no problem. It's yeah. So for me the best option was a fight in February or March, because I was dealing with some injuries, and also Aljo had fight in December. And it was short time from December to like January. Like it's only like almost 1 month to preparation, and I wasn't focused. I don't have like camp. But Umar, so Umar was training for Song Yidong, and he ended up not fighting him, and he ended up fighting for the belt now. And so here we are, and it's all good.
It's all good. It's all good when you're the champion of the world, Merab. Congratulations on everything, brother. What's the best thing that's happened since you're the champion, other than the people of Georgia losing their mind and celebrating? What's like the most mind-blowing thing that's happened to you since you were the champ?
For me, most important is people like you, former champions, the UFC fighters give me respect, and that's for me, that's the best, because I've been experienced everything last couple of years. I see people and I see, supporters, I see haters, everything else. But from real people like you are and give me respect and, they show me love and support. That's most important for me. And I'm grateful. And I'm so happy and I can die happy tomorrow. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm going to let you go. I haven't got another question, but that's a really interesting. That's a really interesting answer, because I remember as well when I was coming up, when a lot of people, when they talk shit and you hear it and you see it online and you don't feel respected by the people that are doing the same profession as you. We call it our peers. When our peers don't respect us, it's kind of annoying. But now you're the champion of the world. You did that fair and square. And one of the best things is that you now feel that you're getting the respect that you deserve.
Yes.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. Go out there, have a great fight. Thank you for your time. UFC 311, Merab the Machine, Dvalishvili, Georgia's finest. He's going to get it done. Let's go, brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
My man. Take care. Thanks, Merab. And there he is, the one and only Machine, who defends the belt for the first time next week. Harrington, what is going on in Florida in the world of porn and VPNs?
So Florida recently put in an age verification thing, right? So if you want to access any of those 18 plus sites, you need to verify your age. Pornhub does not offer that. They're not complying with that, so they pulled out of the state entirely. You can't access the worldwide leader, let's say, in illicit content. So the workaround. The use of VPNs in Florida has surged by 1,150% following Pornhub leaving the state. Pretty sure those two are maybe related.
Just a little bit.
And did you notice that Harrington knew the ins and outs of that story? I mean, there was no looking at the notes. He knew about the restrictions. He knew who the biggest player in the space was.
I'm very familiar with the ins and outs, Mike.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you did there. No, I was sitting in the sauna this morning with Rebecca, and she's scrolling, and she found that story. She says, Michael, you got to talk about this. I'm like, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say about this? Yes, okay. There's a lot of randy young children in Florida that are pissed off, and they're signing up for ExpressVPN.
Wow. The VPN business is very happy about that decision to move out of Florida, I'm sure.
It's popping off. Oh,
yeah. Some other countries where VPNs probably pop off, and they might be illegal there. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing. Let's be honest. We don't want. I mean, here's the thing. I've got a young teenager. He's 14 years old. He's glued to his phone all the time. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to talk about it. But I hope he's not doing that stuff. I really hope he's not. But it's
never.
Natural.
He would never do that. No.
He's a Bisping.
No young man would ever want to look at illicit material, as we so call it.
Yeah, illicit it is indeed. In fact, Harrington, give us another one. There's not really a big conversation there unless we want to go into our porn habits and stuff like that. And this isn't the podcast for it.
Let's stay away from that.
Oh dear. What else you got, Harrington, before we let Paul get out of here?
Well, all right. I got this is kind of interesting. Starting this Tuesday, all businesses that offer a subscription must have a one-click to cancel policy. So that includes, everything from your Netflix or online things to in-person stuff like a gym membership, which I know are notoriously hard to get out of.
They're the worst.
So
we're going to need you to come back into the office, sir. It's like I moved across the country. What am I? I'm not coming into the office.
Oh, well. So, yeah, now you will be able to get out of all that with one click. It goes into effect this Tuesday, but it's not going to be enforced anywhere until about May. So, these companies are going to have a little bit longer to squeeze it out of you.
Well, that's huge because we just recently signed up for Rocket Money, right? Are you familiar with Rocket Money?
Is that where it tells you all your subscription things that you're wasting money on? Yeah.
So we signed up for it. And, oh, my God, I was shocked. I expected there to be a good few. There was way more than what I ever imagined. And there was so many. We had like 4. We had 4 subscriptions to Amazon Prime. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, how does that even happen? We had so many. There was some that I didn't even know what they were. I'm like, what is that? And then it's so good. Push up a button, boom, done, gone.
I'm going to do it.
And the fact that now that these companies are going to make that, well, the government or whoever it is, the authorities are going to make it that it's that simple for everybody. I mean, that is big news. The gyms, of course.
Huge too, because just even little things that you sign up for on apps and stuff that the problem is, there's a contract that says all the stuff that, the cancellation policy and all. Man, that's a lot to read. And sometimes we're just clicking through and you decide something's a good idea in the moment. And then 5 days later, you forget that you ever even signed up for that thing. You only needed it one time. And now you've probably been paying for it for 5 years. I got to sign up for that. I've been seeing advertisements for that and wanting to try that out because I know for sure that there's multiple accounts to things that we don't need multiple accounts to. Amazon being one, Netflix. I know I'm paying for one, even though we share the same one here. So I got some work to do.
We had multiple VPN subscriptions. I'm not going to lie. We had 2 for TunnelBar, 3 for ExpressVPN. I'm assuming Rebecca signs up for one. I sign up for one, and the kids have done that. I've told this story before, but it's pretty funny. Rebecca came in one day. She wasn't happy. She was like, what do I explain yourself? I'm like, what for? She goes, OnlyFans. I'm like, what are you talking about? OnlyFans. She goes, yeah, did you enjoy yourself on OnlyFans? I'm like, it wasn't me. She goes, look, and it was there on the statement. And I'm like, that wasn't me. I'm telling you right now. Anyway, I don't know who it was, but it was someone else living in this house. It definitely wasn't me. So then Rebecca had to call them up on the phone. And she's like, look, listen. No, she had to call the bank and say, we've got to cancel this because we're paying for this. And they're like, well, it's someone in your house. She goes, well, it's not my husband. And she was like, she could tell the woman on the other end of the phone were going to her husband. Piece of shit. But I think that's a great rule. I like that one. How long have we been going for there? I think we've been going long enough. This weekend, Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Ribas. Paul Felder, the iron lung on the desk. Michael, the count on the commentary. Who you working with on the desk? Do you know?
I'm not even sure yet.
Okay. Well, I'll see.
Who are you calling them with? Do you know who you're calling with?
I don't know.
Is it Dom maybe?
Dom or DC or Sanko?
Yeah, it could be Dom, DC, Sanko. And we know it ain't Rogan.
It ain't Felder. We know that.
And it ain't me.
It is not.
Although I'm ready to step in on a moment's notice.
You will do that. You will do that. Take my job if you could. My God, you bastard. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the world, thanks for watching. Subscribe and ring the bell. In fact, what am I talking about? Let's do a quick question. Do we have any questions, Brian? And if you do have a question, send it in to bympod@gmail.com. Please subscribe. It helps us out. Please leave a little comment. That helps us out in the algorithm. Brian, I know what you're going to say. There's no questions, right?
No, I got a question here from Mr. Creative 8. Okay. He doesn't look like an 8.
What's up, Mike? Hope you're well. I'm actually in Thailand right now, and the reason why I'm asking this question is because I'm listening to when George St. Pierre went on the Joe Rogan podcast. He's been on twice. This was the first time, and around like 36 minutes in, they're basically discussing yours and GSP's fight, but then also just like discussing you as a fighter in general. And GSP was saying how it's like a really big honor to fight you because you guys stand for the same stuff. He said like some of the guys that beat you were on steroids, and then obviously some of the guys that you beat were also on steroids. And one thing I was wondering is that, I mean, I guess sometimes you can tell by looks. Like when you look at Vitor, he's obviously juiced out of his mind. But I'm not asking for specific names, but can you tell when someone is on steroids? Like, can you feel the difference? But yeah, if you haven't seen that, I would recommend going to listen to that because they had a lot of complimentary things to say. But not just that, it's also interesting things as well. Like you're talking about how your strategy in the second round, like fight IQ, how you were jabbing the hand, and then coming over the top with a 2. So yeah, really interesting.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And he does look a little ape-like. Paul, it's hard to tell who's on steroids. Obviously, Vitor Belfort. You can take one look at that guy. It is, I mean, look at him at heavyweight, for crying out loud. My God. Early days, granted. When he was on the middleweight run down in Brazil, again, take one look at him. But mentioning another Brazilian, no offense, and I hate to do this, Anderson Silva. He wouldn't be somebody that you look at and think this guy took performance-enhancing drugs. And sadly, I hate to bring it up because he's a legend, but he did fail a couple of tests. The point that I'm making is the eye test isn't always reliable.
Yeah, because there's things that you can take that aren't just to build muscle and make you look jacked, right? I mean, EPO and things like that, they're there to enhance your cardio and to just make you an absolute machine. And more importantly, it's for recovery a lot of the times too, and being able to do more, which then just makes you a better athlete. If you're already a good athlete and then you're on just a little bit of this stuff, you're going to be able to recover better and you're going to be able to go do more sessions, ultimately getting you in better shape. So it's not like the guys that are cheating, it's not like they're taking the same stuff that a bodybuilder would be taking to get huge and jacked, right? So that's where you're right. That's where it gets difficult. You might look at somebody and they might not even look all that amazing, but they're able to put in insane sessions and recover and just be fitter at the end. So that's the problem with this shit is you can't just be like, oh, that guy's on this, or, oh, he felt really strong. It's like, yeah, well, everybody I fought felt pretty damn strong when I fought them. So it's hard to really pinpoint any one thing when you're in there with them on, oh, this guy's definitely juiced, other than, oh, they look too ridiculous. And sometimes there's guys that just genetically are built like freaks.
Yeah, no, that is correct as well. You got to remember that. I mean, there's a couple of people. I mean, who's got some of the best physiques, and they're not on steroids. I know everybody thinks everybody's on steroids these days. Maybe there's cutting edge technology that can get around. You know, the is it VADA that they use now? Regardless, the testing protocol that they do, they show up. They're randomly drug testing people, and if you're cheating, you're getting caught these days. Sure, I'm sure there's probably the odd one here and there that slips through the net that gets away with it, but en masse, people are getting caught. But there is some people, as you say, with genetics that when you look at them, you think, "Holy shit!" Well, guess what? They're just blessed. That's just how they look. God damn it! Yeah,
there are some, man. I had a friend, Anthony Terrell, that I trained with for years. The dude was always just shredded out of his mind. He wasn't taking anything. Like, I knew he was like a really good friend and training partner. And I used to hate him because I'd get fat in between fights and he'd have fought at the same time. And he'd come back in the gym. I'm like, dude, you still have an 8-pack and I've got like a beer belly now. And I know you're doing the same. I see what you're eating and you don't look like me. So screw you.
Was he a black guy? Yeah, exactly. I was you got to be careful when you say things like that, but black guys tend to have killer bodies for the most part. Do you know what I mean? It's insane.
Jacked.
I'm like,
he was jacked.
Absolutely jacked. Do you know what I mean? Jeez Louise.
He'd get a kick out of this. Hopefully he sees this.
Yeah. No, I know. God damn. Well, I've lost a few pounds this week. I'm on my way down. I've cut out all the booze, Paul. It's been a week.
Me too. I know it's been good. The only thing I'm telling you, the only thing that gets me is at night. I'm like, I feel like I don't know what to do. Like I want to have especially on Saturday. I'm like, I want to have a drink, but
no drinks for me.
I've been
this
over
weekend.
it, man. I'm over it. Yeah, I'm gonna make it all the way till after Saudi Arabia. After Saudi Arabia, I'm gonna do the same thing. When I get back. I'm not going to go crazy, obviously, for any reason. I don't have anything to celebrate necessarily, but I'll have.
But it's more fun when you go crazy.
That flight back from Saudi, I'll definitely have a drink.
It's going to be a good one, ladies and gentlemen. It is. The pre-nap drink on the fly. It's a good one. Oh
yeah, baby. Oh yeah.
And this was a good one. Thanks for your time as always, Paul. Thanks to Merab. Thanks to Jiri. Thanks to Brian. Thanks to Harrington. Thanks to you guys. Take care. See you soon.